Hey guys, this is Brad from Dallas Geek, and I'm here today with
Anne Redelfs.
And we're here talking to her about her current books, which are With Every Addiction, Infants Are Trying to Meet Their Needs, and Illness Can Be the Cure. So, Anne, what can you tell me about your books? What message are you trying to send out to the audience that would be reading this?
I'm a retired psychiatrist, and I'm very concerned with some of the major social issues going on in our country. So I'm addressing them in a series of books. So this is my first book I published last year, and it's addressing chronic illness. Do you know the statistics on chronic illness? I saw recently in a documentary, 70% of American adults have at least one chronic illness. And another documentary said that they did a study, I believe, of 10,000 6-year-olds. 40% of them have at least one chronic illness.
Wow.
So these are very concerning statistics.
Sure.
So this addresses this, that our bodies are communicating through every symptom we have. Sure, there's a physical problem, typically, but the body, the psychological body, is using the physical body to communicate a message.
Okay.
So most of us have our attention on our physical bodies rather than our psychological body. So the psychological body uses the body that we're most comfortable with to deliver its message.
Sure.
So every single symptom has something really important to say about growing our psychological selves. That's why we're here.
Sure.
So it's really exciting when people just close their eyes, tune in, whatever body symptom is most pronounced, what is it saying? And amazing things come up that they can listen to and respond to. So you can do the long-term medical medication,
Sure,
procedures, all that sort of thing if you want, but it's so much easier, gentler, kinder.
Sure.
To hear the psychological body respond.
So does this book discuss specifically how to identify the symptoms that your body is trying to express to you, or does it also go into the different ways to try to address them?
Yes, there's a workbook.
Okay.
So it's helpful if you have an illness or a family member does to sit with them, and it walks you through the steps. Like every body part has something it wants to say. Like if something's going on in a person's brain, like let's say a brain tumor.
Sure.
Something in our head, something in our belief system, something in our thinking that's deadly.
Yeah. And
to address that.
Sure.
So what a positive communication, right?
Yeah.
So for every, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that, there's also a, great, you're being instructed to do something. And you can do it now that you hear it, hopefully.
So as you work through the workbook, does it recommend certain courses of action, or does it have certain resources that it will direct people to for further information or more elaborate answers for what they can do to address the issues that they're having?
Both.
Okay.
But more of the step-by-step, okay, right now, just stop, close your eyes, and listen. And what's really surprising, most people are like, I've never listened to my body before. It's like, you listen to everybody else, why not listen to your body? And
Sure.
well, my intestines just said such and such. They start hearing, and it's exciting.
Awesome.
I was in a play when I was in high school, The Miracle Worker.
Yeah.
Where deaf, dumb, and blind Helen Keller learns that there's communication and signals, and it's the same sort of thing. This huge world that opens up when we realize that bodies are talking to us, our souls are speaking through these body symptoms.
Sure. What about this second workbook over here?
This is my experience with addiction, another chronic problem in our country. Again, the statistics and even in our world are just getting worse and worse. And I know the current paradigm is it's a disease process that you'll struggle with for the rest of your life. That has not been my experience. My experience is that addiction is dependency. When you hear dependency, what age of a person do you think of, right? Mm-hmm. The youngest.
Sure.
The youngest babies are dependent.
Sure.
And so it's an inner infant problem.
Okay.
In my understanding, everything in our world is in every part of us. Mm-hmm. Every part of our world is inside us. So there's a man inside everyone, there's a woman, there's a child, there's a baby. And that's something we don't talk about. You hear about the inner child a lot now. John Bradshaw brought that to light.
Yeah.
There's also an inner infant, and the infant bonds with what has been consistent. So you have someone who didn't have consistently loving, healthy, mature adult parenting,
Sure.
but has an alcoholic father, then it bonds with what's consistent, the alcoholism.
Sure.
And the alcohol. And it doesn't have to be parents too. People always think it's the parents. It could be anyone in their life. They've always consistently putting something forward. Like people have admitted to me putting alcohol in the baby bottles to calm the baby.
Yeah.
You're setting them up for a life of calming themselves with alcohol. And I don't do that much. And they start making excuses. It's like, well, and I wonder how many people are not talking about it.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it's things like that, getting in touch with the inner infant and giving that baby the mature parent that he or she has always needed. So that's what this is. Again, it's a workbook that works people through the steps of embracing that inner infant and giving him or her what she truly needs.
So, out of curiosity, what inspired you to go with the workbook style of addressing these issues rather than what seems to be the more mainstream method of going for the big novel or self-help book? What about the workbook style was more appealing for what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, it all started with, I was in the Katrina disaster in New Orleans. I lived there at the time, although I evacuated the day before. And all the craziness that happened after the levee broke and 80% of the city was destroyed. Well, there were many levees broke, but I was impelled to write. I just had to tell the true story from a psychological perspective.
Sure.
And it turned into a 365-page book. So,
wow.
It was massive, but I had so much to say.
Sure.
And so it was like this big and weighed 2.1 pounds, and people said, you've got to cut it down. So that's one extreme to another, perhaps, but that's how people say, give people little bite-sized bits.
Sure.
So that's what I'm doing, just one social problem in one book, workbook, how to work it through.
Awesome. Very nice. Do you have a website that our viewers could go and find more resources or works of yours to be able to continue on what these two will be able to set up for them?
I do.
Okay.
It's AnneTheListener.com. ANNE, thelistener.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been very intriguing, very, very interesting stuff. I'm actually very interested in this first one right here. I feel like that has a lot that I'd actually be personally very interested in just learning about. So thank you so very, very much for coming and sharing your time with our audience.
Thank you.
So until next time, this is Brad from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.